Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something big from Google, something they're calling personal intelligence. And honestly, this isn't just another little update. It feels like a major shift in how AI is meant to fit into our lives. We're talking about an AI that's supposed to know you almost as well as you know yourself.
But that brings up a huge question, one we're going to be tackling today. Is this the ultimate helpful sidekick we've all been waiting for? Or is it a massive privacy gamble? I mean, this feature promises convenience on a whole new level, but it forces us to ask, what's the trade-off?
Okay, so let's just get a quick lay of the land here. What is this thing? At its core, it's a new beta tool that lets Google's Gemini AI tap into your personal stuff, your Gmail, photos, search history, even YouTube. Now, the most important thing to know right off the bat is that it's off by default. You have to go in and manually turn it on. Its real superpower is something called cross-app reasoning, and we'll see a cool example of that in a minute. For now, you can only get it if you're a subscriber in the US, and it's really for people who are tired of digging through their own digital junk to find something.
So what's the big idea here? Well, we're really seeing a move away from an AI that just knows random facts to one that actually knows, well, you. Think about it this way. For years, an AI could ace a history test, right? It knows public information. But if you asked it about your own life, about something personal, it had no clue. That's the gap personal intelligence is designed to fill. It's about letting the AI connect the dots across all the private data you already have sitting in Google's world to make it genuinely, personal.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this play out in the real world? Let's walk through a pretty wild example that Google gave.
Okay, picture this. You're at the mechanics. They need your license plate number for some paperwork, and your car is parked way on the other side of the lot. Instead of walking all the way over there, you just pull out your phone and ask Gemini. In seconds, the AI scans through your Google Photos, finds a picture of your car, reads the number right off the plate, and boom, hands it to you as text. Pretty slick, right?
And that whole scenario is a perfect example of the key tech behind this, which is called cross-modality reasoning. It's a fancy term, but all it really means is that the AI can grab information from one format, like a photo, and use it in a completely different one, like a text form. It's like it can read in one language and write in another, all on its own. That's the real magic trick here.
Of course, the moment you hear that an AI is sifting through your private photos and reading your emails, the alarm bells start to go off. And that brings us to the elephant in the room. What does all this convenience cost in terms of privacy?
And this really gets to the heart of the two very different ways of looking at this. On one side, you have Google's take, which is basically, hey, we already have this data on our servers. We're just making it actually useful for you. But then there's the other view, which is a bit more cautious. It argues that every time we hand over a mental task to AI, we're slowly giving up our own ability to remember and think for ourselves. Are we just outsourcing our own brains?
Google's main argument really boils down to this classic horror movie line. What they mean is, this isn't some new breach of your privacy. The data, the call, is already inside the house. It's on their servers. They're just connecting the phone so you can actually use it.
Now, to try and calm some of these fears, Google has put a few guardrails in place. For example, it says Gemini won't just look at an email from your doctor and start making health suggestions. They also say they don't train their big AI models on the actual content of your private files. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? Here's the catch. Some of your prompts and data are actually reviewed by human contractors to make the whole thing better. So what does that mean for you? It means you need to operate with a very simple rule of thumb. If you wouldn't be comfortable with a total stranger reading it, just don't put it in a prompt to Gemini. Simple as that. All right, so if you decide you do want to give this a spin, it's super important to remember it's still a beta product, it's not perfect, so you're going to want to use it responsibly and take a few precautions.
For those who have access, actually turning it on is pretty easy. You just head over to your Gemini settings, look for the personal intelligence menu, and you can opt in right there.
So if you're going to be a beta user, here's a little mental checklist. First, expect it to make stuff up sometimes, but they call hallucinations. It's also probably going to struggle with tricky things like if you've recently moved or if a relationship has changed. So because of that, always double check what it tells you. The good news is Google added a citations feature, so you can actually click to see exactly which email or which photo the AI is referencing. That's super helpful. Okay, so all of this brings us to one final and maybe the most profound idea about what this technology really means for us.
This is the real shift right here. We're moving into a world where our AI isn't just a passive tool we use to look things up.
With something like personal intelligence, it becomes an active observer, basically a witness to our lives, with access to our memories, our conversations, our entire digital history.
And so, at the end of the day, it all comes down to a choice that every single one of us has to make. Is the crazy convenience of an AI that knows you inside and out a bargain you're willing to accept? Or does it feel like a sellout, like you're handing over the keys to your digital kingdom? There's no right answer, and it all depends on what you value most.